Hello friends, you all know Don Lee, the guy who has knocked down all kinds of goons and thugs with just one punch. In today's story, Don Lee will fight directly with the devil himself in this horror action movie. The boss is going to beat up some ghosts, so don't miss the video because it's said that parts of this story are actually based on true events. The story begins with a neuropsychiatrist named Jung. Here, Jung was talking about his younger sister, Yoon-seo, whose mental condition was really bad. Because of that, she was being monitored through a smart home system and 24/7 CCTV cameras. It had been 34 days since her condition got this bad, a condition that actually started after their mother's death. Their mother died of cancer. After her death, Yoon-seo and Jung moved into a quiet suburban house. At first, everything was going fine, but as Yoon-seo's health started deteriorating, she was taken for a CT scan to check her brain. That's when something terrifying happened. Yoon-seo suddenly disappeared inside the machine. Then the camera showed her walking out of the hospital with a terrifying smile on her face. And that was the intro of this movie. After that, we see a team called Holy Night, a group of demon hunters. Among them, there are two members named Kim and Sharon, and their leader, Babu. Babu possesses superhuman strength. Sharon has spiritual powers that allow her to sense and exorcise demons or spirits. And finally, Kim. He has no special powers, but he's very smart. He's mainly the team's videographer and investigator. Meanwhile, Detective Choi shows up with a man whose daughter Soo-jin had gone missing several days ago. That man had even sent private investigators to find her, but strange incidents started happening to them. 2 investigators died, and 1 was left in critical condition in the ICU. Detective Choi then tells the team that they have to find the missing girl. They request Babu for help, and Babu agrees since that's exactly what they do. The girl's father confirms the deal by paying them a large sum of money and leaves. Here, Choi also takes a small share for himself, his commission, because most of the time, he was the one who brought such clients to them. Anyway, after finalizing the deal, the Holy Night team sets out to do their job. On the other hand, we see a news report saying that murders have been increasing across Seoul and other cities, causing panic among people. These murders were actually being committed by a group. Then we see CCTV footage showing a man involved in these incidents. His face looked terrifying, and his eyes were completely black. This case caught the attention of the police chief, who was sitting with a church priest named Father Marco. Father Marco was also a doctor, so he could easily distinguish between supernatural events and scientific ones. That means he could tell which incidents were caused by demons and which by mentally ill people. The police chief told him, "In my 30 years of service, I've never seen a case like this." Father Marco replied that all this was being done by a cult group that worships the devil and tries to summon him to gain superhuman powers. Meanwhile, the Holy Night team arrives at a club filled with people. We realize that most of these people were criminals. Among them, a woman gives Babu all the information about the cult group. The entire group was actually inside a hall, performing a ritual, and that ritual was being done on Soo-jin, the missing girl whose father had hired Babu's team to save her. So, once inside, Babu starts beating everyone up without saying a single word. Every member of that cult group had some kind of demonic power too, but Babu was thrashing them all, while Kim kept filming everything. Meanwhile, Sharon began performing an exorcism ritual on Soo-jin, trying to pull the demon out of her body, because by that time, Soo-jin was completely under the demon's control. As Sharon was fighting to save her life, Soo-jin's eyes suddenly turned white, but Sharon quickly held a magical mirror in front of Soo-jin and finally managed to drive the demon out of her body. At that point, Kim noticed that every member of the cult had a strange symbol drawn behind their ears. That was their mark of identification. Anyway, after rescuing the girl, Babu set fire to all the ritual objects in the hall so that no one could perform such demonic worship again. Now, the scene shifts. We see Jung in the hospital, where Father Marco was also present. Jung then goes to visit his sister. He was deeply worried about her. And yes, remember? Jung's sister's name was Yoon-seo. He keeps watching videos of her, where she looked completely insane. On the other hand, Babu is shown talking on the phone with someone about setting up an orphanage. Just then, Kim and Sharon arrive. Kim tells Babu that the tattoo behind the cult members' ears is their only clue. No matter what, we'll catch their leader, he says. Later, they return to their office, where Jung shows up to meet them. Father Marco had actually sent him there, hoping that with Babu's help, Jung might be able to heal his sister. Babu asks him, "Did Detective Choi send you?" Jung replies, "No, Father Marco sent me." As soon as Babu hears Father Marco's name, he flatly refuses to help. He says, "We don't take cases from the Father's people." But Jung insists, even offering a large amount of money. Babu then says, "You should donate this money to the hospital and get your sister treated properly. That would be better," and walks away. Before leaving, Jung gives Sharon a pen drive containing video footage of his sister. He says, "Please, just watch these videos once, then decide if you'll help me or not." In the next scene, we see Jung watching his sister's old videos. From this, we realize how much he cares for her. He's determined to save her at any cost. Suddenly, on the CCTV footage, he notices his sister isn't in bed. He runs to check on her, and then we see Yoon Seo standing behind him, slowly walking toward him. But when Jung turns around, there's no one there. Then he looks forward again and sees his sister lying on the bed, as if nothing happened. Anyway, in the next scene, Jung is talking with Father Marco, who admits he doesn't have much knowledge about exorcisms or dark rituals. That's why he had sent Jung to Babu. Jung tells him everything, that Babu refused to take the case, but Jung still wants to save his sister, no matter what. Meanwhile, we see Kim talking to Babu, asking about Sharon. Just then, Sharon arrives. Kim tells her, "We should really check the videos from that pen drive." But Babu says, "No need for that." Then he gives both of them their salaries, though Kim's pay was a bit lower. So Kim says, "Boss, people are dying in the city every day, and our work is getting tougher. Don't you think our salaries should be raised a little?" They were talking about that when Father Marco suddenly arrives. It had been 10 years since he last saw Babu. Marco and Babu start talking. Marco says, "I was the one who sent Jung to you, but you turned him down. His sister's condition is really bad. If you don't help him, she might die." Babu replies, "I will never take your case." The reason why he refuses to work with Father Marco becomes clear a little later. Because of Marco's past mistakes, Babu had lost many things. Many people had died, including children, and it was because of Marco that a demon named Lucifer was unleashed. We aren't told exactly what happened between them in the past, but it's clear that something tragic took place. Anyway, Babu once again rejects Marco, saying he won't take any of his cases. Then the scene shifts. We see Kim watching Jung's sister's video when Sharon enters. Sharon says, "The same kind of demonic attack happened to us 3 years ago. Boss saved us from a demon named Lucifer. If he hadn't been there that day, we all would have died. Maybe we survived for a reason, to protect others from demons like him. That's why we should help." Yoon Seo Kim agrees and says, "I want to do the same." In the video, Yoon Seo was becoming more violent and behaving more erratically. The footage, recorded by their home CCTV, showed her slowly losing control. She even started hurting herself. Her condition was getting worse. Meanwhile, Babu keeps thinking about it and finally decides that yes, he will help Yoon Seo this time. So, Babu also watches the videos. In one of them, 2 workers enter Yoon Seo's house to install the smart home system and then leave. During that time, Jung-eun was waiting outside. The CCTV footage reveals that those 2 workers had the same symbol behind their ears, the same mark as the cult group. That means everything had been planned by the cult from the very beginning. They had a specific purpose, though Jung had no idea about it. The team starts to suspect that all of this might be connected to the demon Lucifer, the one behind the entire cult group. Meanwhile, Father Marco tells Jung about the past, why Babu hates him so much. He says that Babu grew up with him in an orphanage run by Sister Angela. Back then, there was a boy named Joseph, one of the few special children there, just like Babu. From childhood, Babu had superhuman strength, while Joseph had the divine power to exorcise demons from people and save them. The other kids were afraid of Joseph, but he and Babu were like brothers. Joseph was 3 years older than Babu, and Babu always protected him from danger. Joseph wanted to become a priest who mastered the art of black magic to fight evil. But during all this, Babu left the orphanage and began using his power to earn money in the underworld. With that money, he tried to improve the orphanage and took care of the kids there. Every Christmas, Babu would return to that same orphanage. But 15 years ago, on Christmas Day, Joseph summoned a demon. Because of that, Sister Angela and all the other children in the orphanage died under the demon's influence. Everyone thought Babu also died that day, but he actually survived. After the incident, Babu was consumed by guilt because he couldn't save anyone. From that day on, a fire of vengeance began burning inside him. He couldn't believe that Joseph, the person he loved like his own brother, could do something so horrifying to his own family. Babu swore that he would one day take revenge on Joseph, but he didn't know where Joseph was. During that time, Joseph had begun absorbing human life energy to increase his demonic power. He had already become a servant of the devil. Father Marco, however, never believed any of this, and he told no one about the incident. Marco could have stopped Joseph that day, but he didn't, and that's exactly why Babu despised him so deeply. In Babu's eyes, Father Marco's inaction helped the demon grow stronger. Anyway, later that night, Babu calls Jung and says they want to meet him. Babu, Kim, and Sharon meet Jung and tell him about the men who used to come to his house pretending to be workers. They even disguised themselves as nurses and entered the hospital several times. But Jung never realized it. It was because of those people that Yoon-seo's condition had become so terrible. Seeing the demonic tattoos on their bodies, the team was sure these people were devil worshippers. They helped summon demons into the human world, harmed people, and some of them weren't even fully human anymore. They had sold their souls to the devil, becoming half demon and gaining terrifying powers. Once again, Jung begs them to save his sister, Yoon-seo. The team agrees and goes to see her, finding her in an awful state. Sharon begins questioning the demon inside Yoon-seo, trying to make it reveal itself. But Yoon-seo stays silent, suddenly bursts into laughter, and climbs onto the bed. Sharon immediately starts chanting her exorcism spell, causing the demon great pain, but she doesn't stop. Yoon-seo screams and falls to the floor as Babu lifts her back onto the bed. But Yoon-seo starts losing control again and, with a burst of power, throws everyone across the room. The next second, she disappears. They quickly check the CCTV footage and see Yoon-seo appearing on every monitor at once. Sharon uses her spiritual power to sense where she really is, and the team rushes out to find her. But before leaving, Yoon-seo releases all the other mental patients, who block Babu's team from moving forward. Babu fights them one by one, clearing the way. Meanwhile, Yoon-seo runs outside, with Jung chasing after her. Suddenly, she fades into the darkness as if being pulled away by something unseen. Jung keeps searching until he finds his sister, standing in the middle of the road. As he approaches her, Yoon-seo collapses unconscious. Jung rushes to her and tries to lift her up. But at that exact moment, a truck under demonic control speeds toward them. Just before it hits, the Holy Night team arrives and saves them. They quickly put Yoon-seo in the car and drive her back to her house, since it's in a remote area where no other lives would be at risk. There, they tie Yoon-seo to a chair and draw a circle of salt around her so she cannot cross the line. Kim starts recording the whole thing while Sharon begins her ritual. Because of Sharon's powerful chanting, the demon starts to suffer immensely, but it's also extremely strong. It refuses to leave Yoon-seo's body. Suddenly, the entire house begins to darken. That meant the demonic power had completely taken over the house. By then, all the devil worshippers had arrived there to kill Babu and his team. So, Babu steps outside, determined to teach them a lesson. He fights and kills each one of the cult members who entered the house. After finishing them all, he returns to the room, only to find that the demon has now possessed Jung as well. Babu somehow manages to restrain him and takes him into another room. The whole situation is strange, because they had already drawn a protective salt circle. The demon wasn't supposed to be able to leave it, so how did it manage to escape? Sharon focuses her senses and realizes that something's hidden behind the walls. When they peel off the decorative stickers, they discover several demonic symbols drawn behind them. Those markings were making the demon stronger. In fact, the entire house was the root of all the problems. It was the reason the demon had attached itself to Yoon-seo in the first place. Sharon begins chanting over the symbols on the walls, weakening the demon's power. Suddenly, Yoon-seo starts screaming. Everyone rushes to her, and she says, "I feel like something just left my body. I feel much better now." Hearing that, Jung moves toward his sister, but the others stop him, because the demon is still inside her. It's only pretending to be calm, trying to trick Jung into coming closer. And that's exactly what happens. The demon suddenly reappears within Yoon-seo's body and begins playing with Babu's mind. It shows him visions of his past, regrets, and guilt. everything he failed to save. The demon even appears before him, taunting him. Enraged, Babu attacks it violently. But what he doesn't realize is that the demon he's strangling is actually Sharon. When he calms down, horrified, Sharon quickly resumes her exorcism. But now the demon starts taking control of her too. It pulls Sharon's soul into another realm. Her body remains in the house, but her spirit is trapped in a different world that the demon creates. In that dark spiritual world, Sharon confronts the demon and demands its name. The demon refuses to answer. She keeps chanting powerful incantations until she breaks free and returns to the real world. Then she continues to press the demon, commanding it to reveal its true name. At that moment, the demon takes Yoon-seo's form and begins begging Jung for help, pretending to be in pain. Believing it's really his sister, Jung crosses the protective salt circle to save her, erasing the boundary. That mistake gives the demon full freedom. It reaches its ultimate power, becoming immensely strong and nearly unstoppable. The demon unleashes its fury, killing almost everyone in its path, and then disappears from the house. The team immediately starts searching for it. Meanwhile, Jung uses the CCTV cameras to find his sister, but suddenly all the monitors go black. He turns toward a bookshelf, and just then, the demon shoves it onto him, pinning him down. Right before it crushes him, Babu bursts in and saves Jung at the last second. After that, they hear a noise. It's Kim. They rush over and see that the demon has lifted Kim into the air. But as soon as the others arrive, the demon releases him. It becomes clear that everything is being controlled from one central place. Suddenly, Jung remembers that the cult members once came to their house pretending to be the landlords. They had also asked him about a warehouse. Hearing this, Babu immediately heads to that warehouse, where a large number of devil worshippers are performing rituals to summon the demon. That's the real reason why all this was happening to Yoon-seo. Meanwhile, Sharon discovers the demon's true name, Azazel. Azazel was one of the most terrifying demons of hell. Sharon and Kim try to restrain the demon, but right then, the demon, in Yoon-seo's form, appears before them. They fight with all their might to trap it, but the demon knocks them both unconscious. At the same time, in the warehouse, Babu is fiercely beating up the cult members. Just then, Azazel possesses one of the worshippers and tries to take control of Babu, but Babu challenges it. He allows Azazel to enter his body. The moment the demon does, Babu takes control back and uses Azazel's own power against it, striking it with a single mighty punch that destroys it. That blast fills Babu with even greater strength. Meanwhile, another cultist attacks Sharon and Kim. Kim tries desperately to fight back, but is brutally beaten. Babu arrives just in time, kills the attacker, and saves Kim. Finally, Yoon-seo appears, carrying the last fragment of Azazel within her. At first, it seems like she's back to normal, but suddenly a dark portal opens. Through it, Azazel tries to drag Yoon-seo into a hidden realm where it could fully possess her body forever. Babu and his team grab onto Yoon-seo, trying to pull her back, but Azazel's power is overwhelming. To save everyone, Babu unleashes all his strength and punches directly into the demon's portal, sealing it shut. As a result, Azazel is banished back to hell, unable to return to the human world through Yoon-seo ever again. Gradually, Yoon-seo recovers. Then it's revealed that this entire plot was planned by Azazel and Lucifer. They wanted to enter the human world through their worshippers and take control of all humanity. In the end, we see that Babu has actually opened an orphanage, just like he once dreamed of. His team still continues their work, fighting and exorcising evil spirits. The final scene shows Babu arriving at another place full of devil worshippers. Because Azazel and Lucifer aren't the only demons, there are countless others in hell waiting to be unleashed. To stop that from happening, Babu and his team charge forward once again to destroy them. And with that, the story comes to an end. So, how did you like it? Let me know in the comments. That's all for today. Good night.